Hi everyone, Deanne Hermes here, and today I want to talk with you about Zoom breakout rooms. So here we are in a Zoom meeting, and you will notice along my toolbar at the bottom of my Zoom, there is a button for breakout rooms. Now, if you don't see this on your toolbar, you'll need to go out to zoom.us and go into your settings, and you will need to toggle the switch on, and that will allow breakout rooms. Now, let me tell you a couple things about breakout rooms. Breakout rooms is where you can take the participants from your meeting and you can push them into separate rooms. So if you wanted to break up your students into groups of 3, you could break them up into groups of 3. And then as soon as you push the enable button, then it pushes them automatically into a separate breakout room away from this main session. So there's several things to take into consideration when you're talking about breakout rooms. I would certainly have set some parameters around those with your students first. Make sure you have best practices in mind. And if you have a co-host, so if you have another adult who is going to go out into different breakout rooms, you can also do that, but you want to make sure you have a way of monitoring what's happening in your breakout rooms. Now, as a host, you have the ability to jump from one breakout room to the other. So you can go in and you can monitor, etc. Another feature, which I'm not going to show you because I don't have people in this Zoom meeting with me right now, but if your participants are out in a breakout room, they have the ability to push a little button and to call for help. And so you'll see a little notice on your screen that says in breakout room number 3, so-and-so needs help. And so then you can go into breakout room 3 and you can answer any questions that they happen to have. So you can float between all the rooms yourself. I would have some specific tasks in mind for your students when they go out into their breakout rooms. A couple of features, look down at my notes, make sure I don't forget this. So when students are out into breakout rooms, they have full video capabilities. They also have the ability to share their screen with the participants within their group. Even if you have that turned off in the main meeting here, once they go out into their breakout rooms, they have the ability to do that. So please keep that in mind. Again, having some protocols established beforehand around how to use those breakout features is going to be really important. If you have somebody who is a co-host for your meeting and you want them to be able to go out into different rooms, you need to first assign that co-host into a breakout room. Once they're in a breakout room, they will have the ability to also go between the different breakout sessions, but they need to be assigned first. So unlike you, you'll need to assign them into a breakout room. So let's take a look at the backside of that and see what that looks like. So we're going to go ahead and come down here and click on our breakout rooms. And once we're here, you will notice that I have already set up a couple of these. You can set these up ahead of time before your students come in, and you have several different abilities when you do this. So let's walk you through here and see what's going on. So first of all, your options. So you can set this up so that all participants get moved into breakout rooms automatically. So as soon as you click on start, if you have this button here, as soon as you start the breakout sessions, they will automatically be pushed into those breakout rooms. That's probably a good practice. Allow participants to return to the May session at any time. This is something for you to think about. So if somebody is out in a breakout room and they're uncomfortable with what's happening, if this is enabled, they can leave that session. At the same time, if this is enabled, that's giving people the ability to come and go, and they might take advantage of that as well. So that's just some things to think about ahead of time with breakout rooms. If you have a certain amount of time that you want to set on the breakout room, so if you want them to be in their breakout rooms for 10 minutes, if you click on this box here, you're going to be able to adjust this. So if you want them out there for 10 minutes, you can go ahead and set that for 10 minutes. And then do you want to be notified when that time is up so that they don't surprise jump back into you or you're in a breakout room or whatever. So you can turn that on or off. And then this piece right here, so countdown after closing the breakout room. So do you want there to be a countdown? And this will actually show up on their screen and it will count down for them. I wouldn't do 60 seconds. That's kind of a long amount of time. I would do maybe 15 seconds or maybe 10. And that just gives them like this, okay, we have to finish our conversation real quick because we have 15 seconds left. And it will actually, the timer will count down as soon as that 15-second timer is out, they automatically get pushed back out into the main session. So those are some of the options that are available to you when you create your breakout rooms. You can recreate one. So if you when you come in here, if you've created one already, you want to recreate these. So you want to have several of these where you have set students already into breakout rooms. Let me talk about that for a second. You can set this feature so that students are automatically pushed out into rooms of however many participants you choose. So if you want groups of 3, you can set this for groups of into 3 rooms. So you have to decide how many between your students, how many you want, but you can set up the number of rooms. If you click on this automatic, then it is going to randomly push students out into the different classrooms. If you set it up manually, then you're going to have the option to be able to choose who you want to go into each of the rooms. And so by recreating all these rooms, you've already set the students up into those groups. If you recreate it, maybe you want to have these sessions 3 times through your Zoom session. You can just recreate that several times. So that's what that is going to look like. And I'm sorry I don't have students in here. It would make it look a little bit. You'd be able to see it a little bit better. If you're in there and you want to add another room, you can just click on here and it automatically adds another room. So if you set this up and you thought you'd have 10 students and all of a sudden you have 13 or 14, you can come in here and just quickly add another room. Awesome. And then if you click on the assign button, this is where if you had students in here, you would be able to assign them to specific rooms, or you can rename the room. So if you don't want it to be breakout room 3, but maybe you have special groups within your classroom and you want to have those names go to your, tiger group or whatever you do, you can rename those right there as well. And then you have the option to delete your rooms. So that's essentially how you set up the breakout rooms. It's really cool. And once you have those set up and ready to go, you would just start those breakout rooms and your students would get pushed out there. I strongly encourage you, if you have the chance to work with some team members before you use this with students, I would come in and set up and practice with a couple of breakout rooms with staff first, so that you can see what it's like on the teacher end, but staff can also see what it's like on the student end, and then flip roles so that you have a chance to practice doing that, as well as practice changing between the different rooms so that you know how to quickly get into different breakout rooms. And so that your co-host, if you're going to work with co-hosts, I would also practice this with your co-host before you ever start using it with students. But it's a really fantastic feature. Again, I really caution you, make sure that you have set parameters around this with students prior to them ever going into breakout rooms, and that you have very specific tasks in mind for students to use while they're in here. So this is a great feature. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy breakout rooms.